In this video, we're going to look at Rodney McGruder's Resurgence in the Clippers' second scrimmage game. One of the things Rodney McGruder had going for him with the Miami Heat was a very good floater game, especially out of pick and roll settings. He and Whiteside had really good chemistry. Here, McGruder gets the ball on a handoff from Joakim Noah. Noah sets a nice screen. McGruder gets downhill, notices Mo Wagner in drop coverage, and just feathers a very nice floater over the top and draws the foul. Sometimes hustle is enough to make a difference in a game, and on this play, that is the epitome of what we're going to see. Amir Coffey throws the ball away. Washington ends up getting a break out of this. And we are going to see Rodney McGruder hustle all the way back in the play. Jerome Robinson, former Clipper, helps the Clippers by missing this layup. But Rodney McGruder gets in, gets his hand on the rebound, tips it up, tips it away, and the Clippers get the ball back. This is right after Rodney McGruder gets the rebound. The Clippers are in an offensive set here, and we're actually going to see something that Rodney McGruder recognizes and can actually get better at as a secondary ball handler. He goes away from the screen. This draws the defender away and draws the defender off of Amir Coffey, which McGruder notices, kicks to Coffey. Coffey smartly drives, kicks to Patterson. Patterson's going to knock in the three. McGruder was smart here to pass. Defense was one of the reasons Rodney McGruder was an interesting acquisition by the Clippers last offseason. And here, McGruder goes over the top of the screen. The Clippers are in drop coverage with the big, so McGruder pushes him smartly towards the helping big defender. As the ball goes out to the corner, McGruder's fighting with Mo Wagner under the hoop. This is a battle that McGruder has to win because he is the smaller man. As the rebound comes off, McGruder fights for the ball amidst the trees. He ends up winning it. Ball goes out of bounds. Clippers ball. This is a Doc Rivers baseline out of bounds special here, folks. Inbound is from McGruder to Joakim Noah. As you look, McGruder hard plants as if he's going to go to get the ball from Noah, and then jump stops to cut the other way. McGruder's going to be wide open, has a nice reverse layup. It's a bucket. Another thing you like to see out of Rodney McGruder is aggression and confidence, which he shows on this play. He gets the ball from Noah. He notices the defender is going under the pick, so this should leave him open for a jumper, and he does. McGruder gets a wide open look for the most part from the mid-range. He misses it, but I like the process here. This is actually a really smart defensive play by McGruder. He knows that Wagner wants to come up and set a screen, so if he acts like he's going to double with Noah on the screener, it's going to force a pass. So the second the pass starts, McGruder hustles back towards his man. But when his man starts to drive, McGruder really adequately flips his hips to stay in position, gets in front of the ball handler, and he's going to force a pass. Wagner gets a good look from three because Noah doesn't contest, but Rodney McGruder did a really good job on this play to force Washington out of their main actions. Another defensive possession for Rodney McGruder. Another good showing on the defensive end for him on this play. As a screen gets set, McGruder doesn't get hung up on it. He does touch the screen, but he's going to get over it really well. And he beats the ball handler back to the middle of the floor. And by doing this, he forces a pass out to the perimeter. Ish Smith ends up working against Terrence Mann and takes a really bad shot. It's very contested, but Rodney McGruder did a good job of blowing this up from the initial action. This is a really long play here because the Clippers actually get an offensive rebound. We're going to see how. As the ball's being worked around, Rodney McGruder just noticed him. He's in the corner. As the ball comes to Patrick Patterson's going to take a mid-range jumper. Just notice where McGruder is. He's highlighted, obviously. McGruder's going up the wing because he's going to get back in transition defense. But when the ball comes off the rim long, he immediately sprints and gets to the ball before anyone else. And it gives the Clippers a second opportunity to get an offensive possession and possibly score. What we're going to see is the Clippers do score. They get a made three-pointer by Terrence Mann. But here's a little bit more of the process. McGruder's going to come up and get the ball from Patrick Patterson. And he's going to notice that Washington's going to try to ice the pick and roll. So McGruder's going to go left, taking what the defense allows him, and passes to Patterson. The pass is a little off. But because of McGruder's intelligence and because of his hustle on the offensive glass, he gets the Clippers another shot and a three. It's another defensive possession for Rodney McGruder, and it's another great showing by Rodney McGruder. Here, he's going to be matched up with Ish Smith starting in the near side corner. Ish Smith is very fast, and he's a lead ball handler for Washington. So here comes a dribble handoff with Ish Smith. But Rodney McGruder blows this up. He prevents that handoff from happening. So because of this, the ball gets worked around, and Rodney McGruder is going to end up playing the passing lane as the ball handler goes down the baseline. Rodney McGruder notices the pass coming and adequately gets into the passing lane to deflect the ball away and retain possession while getting fouled. Great stuff here from him. Sometimes just doing simple things is a big deal, because simple things yield points. If you don't try to get too cute, you can do things well enough to score. And here, JaMychal Green's going to come down a screen. Rodney McGruder notices him the second he is open, and he's going to hit him right on the line for a pass, for an open three. JaMychal Green knocks it down. Another part of defense is just knowing what's going on. McGruder here is boxing out his man, and as the driver comes, McGruder helps and defends this and ends up helping force a miss. As the rebound comes off, McGruder's going to actually leap up and get a block on the second opportunity. This is really good. Rodney McGruder, his hustle paid off here, and the Clippers get a stop. Court awareness, functional awareness, defensive awareness in terms of what the defense is doing to you is very important for offensive players. And Rodney McGruder seems he is like as if he's gotten better on that end during the hiatus. He starts here in the corner. That's where he is. The second Terrence Mann goes to make this pass, Rodney McGruder's going to slice up to the wing. He knows he has to fill that spot because no one's there. He presents himself. He even gives a little shot fake, which draws the defender closer towards him. And McGruder's going to go by to the middle of the floor. And as he gets to the middle of the floor, he goes up for a little floater, half attempt of a layup, and gets fouled. He draws the foul and gets free throws. Another way to be effective defensively is just to stop your man from getting the ball at all. And on this play, we're going to see Rodney McGruder do a great job of ball denying his guy all over the floor. As we can see, he starts off and he's near the baseline. He's underneath the hoop. He's ball denying. There's no way to get this man the ball underneath the hoop. So he tries to post up against Rodney McGruder, but McGruder's fighting him the whole way. There's no angle here. The shot clock's under 10. McGruder's done such a good job of forcing the ball away from him that it leads Washington to a bad shot, and the Clippers end up getting the rebound. So ball denial is very key defensively. One of the principles of good offense, at least as far as awareness goes, is to read, react, and relocate. McGruder comes down on a Joakim Noah screen, gets to the middle of the floor. He notices the defense is going to collapse. He knows he has Patrick Patterson on the wing. He's going to kick it to him. Now, this pass isn't great. It's a floating pass, but it still gets to Patterson. McGruder then sneaks back out onto the right wing, and he even raises his hand so Joakim Noah can see him. Noah's going to hit him with a pass, and McGruder has an open three. His shot form looks really good here. When he's not rushed, his form looks great, and he knocks it down. One of the things that feels like it's been missing from Rodney McGruder's game this season for the Clippers is confidence. His shot wasn't really fully there in the beginning of the season. He did have a big game against the New Orleans Hornets, or I almost called them the Hornets, the Pelicans on the road. But for the most part, McGruder has not been confident on the offensive end. This play shows how he might have regained some of that confidence during the hiatus. He squares up to the defender. He notices what's going on. He dribbles out. He wants Joakim Noah to come up and set a screen for him. Noah does. The defense reads this and backs up, but it gives McGruder space, and he confidently and aggressively takes this shot. It's a three. McGruder knocks it down. This is an awesome sign. We'd be remiss in this evaluation of Rodney McGruder's game in the second scrimmage game for the Clippers if we didn't point out some of the negatives, some of the lowlights. It's only fair. Here, Ish Smith drives against him, but McGruder's base is way too wide, and he's not able to turn his hips fluidly enough to keep in front of Smith, and then he doesn't contest this, and it's a made basket for Ish Smith. Players can do too much in the offensive setting. Here, Rodney McGruder actually does a good thing right off the bat. He attacks the hard closeout and he's going to get downhill, but the problem comes with trying to do too much. He tries to funnel this ball to Noah in too tight of a space, and it's a turnover, and the Clippers lose the ball. You can't do this if you're Rodney McGruder. You never want to stretch yourself too far defensively, and sometimes that's where Rodney McGruder can get into trouble on that end of the floor, and that's evident in this play. McGruder's defense is towards the middle of the floor, but as the ball handler comes across and towards the elbow, McGruder tries to help over, but he loses sight of his own man, and his man back cuts him. And as he does, McGruder's following the play, and you can't trail on a play like this. But McGruder does try to make up for this. He gets out to the corner. Problem is, he's too late to contest, and it's an open three, and he gives it up, and you can't do that if you're Rodney McGruder. Another instance for McGruder that he needs to work on is staying in front of a roller when you get switched on the pick and roll. The Clippers like to run a lot of drop coverage or even ice pick and roll action, and that puts pressure on the guard defender to actually beat the rolling big to the hoop. And here, as we see, there's going to be a screen from Washington. McGruder's going to try to ice it, but he gets too far wide on the ice, and he has to try to hustle back. So now he's already behind the big. And now he gets caught ball watching. And Mo Wagner is able to get to the rim, and McGruder can't stop this lob pass, and it's a bucket for Washington. This is just a simple blunder from Rodney McGruder. People do this every game. Some get called, some don't. As we're going to see, McGruder's going to try to flare out to the wing, but he pushes off. You can't do that. That's an offensive foul. It's a simple call. This play right here is probably Rodney McGruder's worst sequence in the entire game. And it really doesn't come back to bite him, but we need to talk about it. He's going to spin across the screen, and he's trying to face guard his guy and stop him from curling up. The problem is, that puts him at a unique disadvantage. Now he's trailing. His guy's open under the hoop. Washington doesn't get him the ball. So his guy's going to spin back towards the quarter, but McGruder's just trying to follow him now. And now you're playing a game of catch-up, and you can't do that. Here, as the shot goes up on the wing, McGruder and his guy are in the near side corner, but McGruder doesn't get a body on him. He allows his man to sneak in. His man gets the rebound after a bad bounce off Patrick Patterson's hands. Washington has the ball get blocked at the rim. Clippers get the rebound, but Rodney's got to do better. Rodney McGruder is really going to have to figure out a way to stop getting called for charges as he barrels into the paint. Here, he's going to get the ball on the wing. He's ready to shoot, even shows a shot fake at the defender on the closeout. Drives downhill. The helping rotation comes over. McGruder fakes a pass to Noah and goes up for a shot. He should have passed to Noah. He gets called for a charge. Needs to learn. Alright, so this is the last video. Rodney McGruder's been really good. I know the negative videos make it seem like he hasn't been at times, but Rodney McGruder was really good in this game, and this was a big step forward for him. We're going to see Rodney McGruder come over the top of the screen. He's in trail position. He needs to get in front of the rolling big, but he's caught ball watching and doesn't get in front of him, and that's a problem. He's locked in a battle with the big for the rebound, potentially. McGruder is kind of rooted out. Rebound is given up. It's a foul on Patrick Patterson. It was a bad showing from Rodney McGruder here, but the whole game was a positive for him.